The sky above Earth looked peaceful, but every human heart was filled with fear. For the first time in history, the entire planet waited for a single decision. High above the clouds, a giant silver station floated like a second moon. This was the Hall of Stars, home of the powerful Galaxy Council. Today, they would decide if humans were ready to join the greater galaxy. Inside the station, thousands of eyes watched the main chamber. Tall glowing pillars circled the room, each one holding the hologram of a council member from a different alien race. Humans stood in the center on a raised platform. Their leader, Chancellor Mira Kale, looked calm from the outside, but her hands shook behind her back. Every human on Earth watched the live broadcast. Every city had screens glowing in the night. Children sat with their parents, soldiers stood still in their bases, workers paused their machines. No one spoke. No one moved. One decision would either lift humanity among the stars, or lock them out forever. A deep bell echoed in the chamber. The council speaker, a tall figure made of silver light, rose and addressed the crowd. Species known as humans, the voice announced, you stand today seeking entry into the United Galactic Alliance. All humans held their breath. Mira stepped forward. We have grown. We are ready to stand beside others. We seek friendship, peace, and a future beyond our world. There was silence. Long, heavy silence. Then a cold whisper passed through the chamber. Humans are not ready. A second voice joined. Too emotional. Another. Too violent. More voices layered on top, forming a storm of disapproval. Unpredictable. Dangerous. Uncontrolled. The energy in the room shifted. Hope began to fade from every human face. Mira looked around in disbelief. This was not a debate. This was a decision already made. The silver speaker raised its hand. Let the final vote be revealed. One by one, the glowing alien pillars turned red. Out of 20 members, 19 rejected humans. Only one blue light blinked, showing support, and even that faded quickly, as if afraid to stand alone. The council speaker delivered the final words. Humans are denied entry. They are to remain outside the central systems. Effective immediately, they are reassigned to the outer rim. A gasp spread across the entire chamber. The outer rim, the most dangerous region of known space. A place filled with abandoned worlds, failed colonies, broken stations, and dark secrets. It was where unwanted species were pushed, hoping they would disappear. Humans had not just been rejected, they were being exiled. Mira stepped forward, voice steady but trembling. You cannot do this. We came in peace. The council cut her off. Human behavior cannot be trusted. Your presence in central space is a threat. Another alien voice added coldly, you destroy your own world. Why would we let you near others? Mira clenched her fists. Humans are not perfect, but we learn. We adapt. We grow. Her voice rose. You cannot judge us for our past when we are trying to build a better future. The chamber flashed red. The decision is final. And just like that, the platform beneath Mira dimmed, signaling the end of the hearing. Every human soldier, scientist, and leader stood frozen, unable to process what had just happened. Across Earth, millions of people felt pain. Children cried. Adults stared at screens with disbelief. Some cursed the council. Others felt humiliation as if the entire galaxy had laughed at them. But far away, in a forgotten corner of the universe, something ancient stirred. A silent pulse of energy rippled through the outer rim, a pulse no council member noticed. But someone, or something, had been waiting. Waiting for humans. Back in the Hall of Stars, Mira walked off the platform. She and her team moved into a quiet corridor. The walls hummed with strange alien technology. Mira leaned against the wall, her voice cracking for the first time. They fear us, she whispered. That is why they rejected us. Not because we are weak, but because of what we may become. Her commander, Aaron Vale, stepped beside her. So what now? Mira looked at the window showing Earth far below. We go to the outer rim. If they think they can throw us into the dark, they will learn something. What? Aaron asked. She straightened her shoulders. Humans survive, no matter where you put us. Another pulse shook the distant void. The outer rim glowed for a brief second, like a giant eye opening. Something out there recognized humanity. And somewhere deep in that darkness, a whisper echoed. They have returned. The council did not hear it. Humans did not hear it. But the universe heard. A mistake had been made. A mistake that would change everything. The galaxy had rejected humans. But the outer rim had been waiting for them all along. The journey to the outer rim began 3 days after the council's rejection. Human ships rose from Earth like silver arrows cutting through the sky. Families watched from rooftops. Soldiers saluted as the great fleet disappeared into the clouds. No one cheered. No one smiled. It felt less like a mission, and more like a punishment. Commander Aaron Vale stood on the bridge of the flagship Horizon Dawn. He stared at the long stretch of stars ahead. His face looked calm, but his thoughts were a storm. Behind him, Captain Lyra approached. "Sir, the crew is ready. Supplies loaded. Engines stable." Aaron nodded. "Good. We will reach the rim in 19 hours. Lyra hesitated. "The men are scared. The rim is full of ghost stories." Aaron allowed a small smirk. "Ghosts don't scare me. The council does." Lyra almost smiled, but her eyes showed the same worry as everyone else. The outer rim was nothing like the central galaxy. As the fleet entered its borders, a strange fog of blue dust surrounded them. Old satellites floated like broken bones. Dead stations drifted in silence. Planets with large cracks spun slowly in the cold darkness. Sensors beeped on every ship. Unstable radiation detected. Multiple wrecks near Sector 9. No signs of life. The rim felt abandoned, yet not peaceful. It felt like a battlefield where the war had ended, but the fear had stayed behind. Mira Kale, traveling on a separate ship, contacted Aaron. Her voice came through the comm screen. "Welcome to our new home," she said quietly. Aaron replied, "It looks worse than the reports." Mira stared at the dark space ahead. "The council sent us here for a reason. They want us to disappear." Aaron crossed his arms. "Then we won't give them what they want." The fleet chose an empty planet named R9 Helios as their first settlement site. It was a world covered with black stone, sharp mountains, and long cracks that glowed faintly at night. When humans landed, the ground shook under their boots. Strange winds blew across the plains, carrying distant echoes, like voices stuck inside the air. Engineer Soren kicked a rock. "This place hates us already." Scientist Rhea knelt beside a glowing crack. "This is not normal rock. Something old made this." Aaron looked around. The planet felt alive. Watching, waiting. "Stay alert," he said. "The rim is not empty." The first night on R9 was full of strange sounds. Metal structures hummed on their own. The winds whispered words no one could understand. Some soldiers swore they saw shadows moving between rocks. In the command tent, Aaron studied the star maps of the rim. Many zones were marked red. Some had warning signs. But one sector caught his eye, Sector Theta 7, a place with no official notes, only a small symbol, a circle of light. "What is this?" Aaron asked. Rhea looked over his shoulder. "That symbol appears in old ruins across the galaxy. No one knows what it means." Aaron tapped the map. "Tomorrow we go there." Rhea swallowed. "But Commander, that sector is unstable. And we just arrived." Aaron closed the map. "The council didn't reject us for no reason. There is something here, something they fear. I want to know what it is." The next day, Aaron led a team of 20 soldiers toward Theta 7. The land changed as they moved. The ground grew smoother, the air warmer, the wind quieter. And then they saw it. A giant metallic structure half buried in the ground. It looked like a temple mixed with a starship. Glowing lines ran across its surface, pulsing like a heartbeat. Everyone froze. "What is this?" Lyra whispered. Rhea's eyes widened. "Not council technology. Not human. Something much older." Aaron stepped closer. His boots echoed on the metallic floor. As he approached the central door, the glowing lines brightened. A deep hum filled the air. The ground vibrated. Then the door opened on its own. A blast of white light spread through the valley. The team shielded their eyes. When the light faded, a large circular chamber was revealed inside the structure. At the center floated a crystal sphere glowing with golden threads. The sphere spoke in a voice that echoed inside their minds. Designation confirmed. Human. Access granted. The team stepped back in shock. Rhea shook her head. It recognized us? Aaron stared, unable to move. How? The voice spoke again. You carry the signal. The spark. The outer rim accepts your arrival. A chill ran down every spine. Aaron whispered. This place, it was built for us. The sphere brightened. The council fears the truth. But the rim remembers. Suddenly, the structure began to shift. Walls moved. Floors rose. Forgotten machines powered on. A massive tower lit up, shooting a beam of light into the sky. Far away, on the horizon dawn, alarms rang. Energy spike detected. Unknown signal rising from planet R9. Mira ran to the window as the sky above the planet flashed gold. What have they found? She whispered. Back inside the ancient chamber, the sphere slowly cracked open, revealing a map of the entire rim glowing with hidden sights, each pulsing with ancient energy. Rhea gasped. These are not ruins. These are sleeping machines. Aaron felt his heart beat faster. This is not exile, he said quietly. It's the beginning. Far beyond the planet, something in the deep dark opened its eyes. Something watching. Something waiting. Something awakening. The ancient structure on R9 Helios did not return to silence after Aaron unlocked it. Instead, it continued to hum like a giant heart waking from a long sleep. The golden beam it released into the sky spread across the clouds, drifted through space, and vanished into the depths of the outer rim. No one knew what it had called. Inside the chamber, Aaron stood before the glowing sphere that showed the rim map. Golden threads flowed from the sphere into the air, forming paths, symbols, and strange shapes. Rhea walked around the floating map with slow steps. This is a network. A huge network. A network of what? Lyra asked. Rhea touched a glowing line. Buildings. Machines. Stations. Maybe even ships. All connected. Aaron's eyes narrowed. But why would these things respond to humans? The sphere answered in a calm voice. Human essence matches the key code. Access confirmed. Control permitted. Everyone froze. Lyra whispered, Key code? What does that mean? The sphere continued. The ancient creators predicted a returning species. Humans carry their spark. Aaron exchanged a confused look with Rhea. Spark of what? Before the sphere could answer, the entire structure trembled violently, as if something outside had reacted to the activation. Outside, the ground split open in several places. Large stone plates lifted like rising platforms. Hidden towers pushed upward, spraying dust into the air. At least 10 new structures emerged from beneath the surface. Tall, metallic, and glowing with the same golden light. Soren, who waited with the landing team outside, yelled through the comlink, Commander, the whole planet is changing. It's like the ground is waking up. Aaron's voice came through steady. Hold your position. We're coming out. The chamber doors slid open behind them, revealing the transformed valley. The sky was darker now, swirling with strange clouds. The towers around them pulsed like beacons calling to something far away. Lyra stepped out first. This is not normal technology. This is alive. Aaron lifted his wrist device. Contact the fleet. The comm screen flickered, and Myra's face appeared. But her voice was tense. Aaron, what have you done? We're receiving signals across the entire rim. Every satellite, every scanner is reacting. Aaron looked around the glowing valley. We activated something old. Something connected to our DNA. Mira stared in disbelief. And it did not attack you? No, Aaron said. It welcomed us. Mira took a long breath. Return to the ship. We need a full report. But before Aaron could answer, the sky darkened again. A wave of black mist spread above the valley. The golden towers flickered. The ancient sphere inside the structure glowed bright red. A warning voice echoed from inside the ruins. Void signal detected. Threat level, high. Aaron turned sharply. Void? What is that? But the sphere did not answer. Instead, it continued repeating the same warning. Lyra pointed at the sky. Commander, something is forming up there. Everyone looked up. The clouds twisted into a huge spiral. In the center, a shadowy figure hovered, its shape shifting like smoke. Red eyes glowed inside the darkness. Rhea stepped back, frozen. That is not any species I've studied. The shadow released a screech that vibrated through the valley. The ground shook. Dust flew into the air. Aaron shouted, "Weapons up! Defensive positions!" Soldiers raised their rifles, forming a circle around the ruins. But their faces showed pure fear. The creature was not solid, not physical. It was like a living shadow. The sphere's voice echoed again. Void Scout identified. Ancient enemy. Primary target, humans. A chill ran down Aaron's spine. So the Void, it knows us? Before he could think further, the shadow swooped downward with frightening speed. Soldiers fired. Energy beams passed through the creature like air. It screamed again, shaking the towers. Rhea yelled, "Our weapons don't work." The creature extended its arms, sending a wave of dark energy toward the ground. The blast threw soldiers backward. Dust exploded into the air. Aaron grabbed Lyra and pulled her behind a raised stone. "Stay down." The shadow prepared for another strike. But the moment it moved, the ancient towers answered. Golden shields rose from the ground, forming a protective dome around the team. The shadow slammed into the barrier, shrieking in pain as golden sparks burned its form. Aaron watched in disbelief. "The machines are protecting us." The sphere's voice echoed across the valley. "Humans are key holders. Defense systems activated." The golden towers released beams that pierced the shadow. The creature twisted violently as its body broke apart like smoke losing shape. With a final scream, it dissolved into nothingness. Silence returned to the valley. Slowly, the golden dome faded. Rhea breathed heavily. That was only a scout? Aaron nodded. If that was just a scout, then the Void is something truly dangerous. The sphere spoke again. "The Void Legion rises. Humans must awaken the full network. Only you can stop them." Aaron looked at the glowing map floating inside the ruins. Dozens of sites across the rim shined like bright stars. He clenched his fists. "All right," he said softly. "If this network chose us, we will answer." Lyra asked, "Where do we go first?" Aaron looked at the brightest point on the map. "The core world," he said. "The place where the awakening truly begins." Above them, the clouds slowly gathered again. Watching, waiting. The Void was not defeated. It had only been warned. The news of the shadow creature spread through the human fleet like wildfire. Soldiers whispered about it during meals. Engineers spoke nervously as they repaired equipment. Even the bravest officers felt a cold weight in their chests. Something had followed the awakening. Something old. Something hungry. Inside the command room of the Horizon Dawn, Mira stared at the hologram of the outer rim. The map now displayed dozens of glowing points, the hidden network that Aaron had activated. But one more thing appeared. A dark zone. A moving stain of black energy sliding across space. Captain Joran pointed at it carefully. "This anomaly wasn't here before, Chancellor. It began forming right after the signal from R9. Myra's eyes narrowed. "It's following us." Joran swallowed. "It feels alive." Mira turned away. She had seen strange things in her life, but the dark zone felt different. It did not behave like normal energy. It behaved like a predator. Meanwhile, on the surface of R9, Aaron and his team prepared for the next mission. The golden towers had stopped pulsing, but they glowed softly like sleeping guardians. Soren tightened his suit straps. "Commander, do you really think this network belongs to us?" Aaron nodded. The ruins recognized our DNA. They protected us from the shadow creature. And they showed us where to go next. Rhea stood beside them, holding a small crystal sample. This material came from the sphere. It reacts only when a human touches it. In my entire career, I have never seen anything like this. Lyra stepped toward Aaron. The question now is this: why do we match the ancient code? Aaron sighed. We'll find answers in the core world. He pointed at the glowing map inside the structure. The brightest point still pulsed with golden light. A clear signal. A call. Aaron turned to his team. We leave in 1 hour. Full squad. Heavy gear. Everyone nodded, though worry showed in their eyes. As the team loaded their transport shuttle, a soft vibration ran through the ground. Then another. And another. Soren stopped and looked around. Anyone else feel that? Lyra frowned. Earthquake. Rhea shook her head. No. Something under us is moving. The ground exploded. A huge creature burst from beneath the rocks, a black, worm-like beast with glowing red cracks along its body. Its mouth opened into 3 layers of teeth, dripping a dark liquid that sizzled on the stone. Soldiers shouted and aimed their rifles. Enemy spotted. Take cover. The creature screeched, shaking the valley. Aaron yelled, Hold the line. Fire in bursts. Energy beams struck the creature's skin, but the shots only slowed it. The beast twisted and smashed its tail against the ground, sending soldiers flying. Rhea ducked behind a metal crate. This monster isn't technology. It's alive. Aaron rolled across the dirt, grabbed his rifle, and fired again. It's part of the void. They sent scouts. Now they send hunters. The creature lunged at him. But before it could strike, the ancient towers activated again. Golden chains of energy wrapped around the beast, holding it in the air. It thrashed violently, but the chains tightened, burning its dark flesh. Lyra yelled, The ruins are protecting us again. The monster screeched one final time before the chains crushed it into dust. The golden light faded, and silence returned. Soren wiped sweat from his forehead. How many creatures does this void have? Aaron looked at the pile of ash left behind. Enough to destroy the rim. Maybe the whole galaxy. Later, the team took off from R9. Their shuttle flew through the thin clouds and entered open space, joining a smaller human escort squad. Inside the shuttle, Aaron studied the map again. Rhea sat beside him. You seem lost in thought, she said. I'm thinking about the sphere, Aaron replied. It called the void an ancient enemy. Which means this war started long before us. Rhea nodded slowly. The creators of this network must have fought the void. Maybe they lost. Maybe they built these machines so a future species could finish the fight. Aaron looked at her. A future species, us. The idea felt impossible, but everything around them proved it was true. Halfway through the journey, the escort pilots reported something strange. Commander, sensors are picking up movement. Aaron walked to the front window. Movement? From where? The pilot pointed nervously. Everywhere. Black mist streaked through space like swimming shadows. They moved silently, without engines, forming long trails that curved toward the human ships. Lyra's voice came through the comlink. Those things aren't ships, they're alive. The first shadow creature hit the outer shield of an escort ship. The ship shook violently. Red sparks burst across its surface. Shields dropping. Another creature slammed into a second ship, wrapping around it like a living net. The ship twisted, metal groaning. Commander! A pilot shouted. We're surrounded. Aaron gritted his teeth. Break formation. Scatter and regroup. The shuttle dove downward, avoiding a shadow that passed just inches above the hull. Rhea held her seat tightly. These things move like they can smell us. Aaron stared at the window. They can. They're hunting humans. The creatures followed, moving silently, without sound, without life, like pure instinct chasing its target. They were the silent enemy. Aaron activated the emergency beacon. Send a signal to Mira. We need the full fleet. Before the message could transmit, a massive shadow blocked the light of a distant star. Bigger than a ship. Bigger than anything they had seen. A void titan. Its body looked like a floating mountain of darkness. Red cracks glowed across its surface like burning scars. Long tentacles stretched from its core. Rhea's voice turned hollow. This one could destroy entire cities. The titan opened its mouth, revealing a swirling storm of shadow energy. Aaron whispered, "Everyone brace for impact." The titan roared, and the darkness rushed toward them. Darkness rushed toward the shuttle like a giant wave. The void titan's roar echoed through space, shaking every metal plate and every human heart. Aaron grabbed the controls. Hard turn. Now. The shuttle twisted sharply. The titan's blast scraped past the ship, tearing a trail of broken energy through the stars. If Aaron had reacted 1 second later, the entire team would have vanished. Inside the shuttle, alarms screamed. Shields at 20%. Engine overload. Rhea held the wall, her face pale. "We can't outrun that thing." Aaron activated the comlink. "Mira, we need backup." Static responded. The void was interfering with the signal. Then the titan turned. Its massive red eye focused on the fleeing shuttle. Tentacles uncurled like dark whips ready to strike. Aaron's voice hardened. "Everyone, hold on." The titan lunged. At that very moment, the Horizon Dawn appeared from hyperspace. The flagship emerged like a blazing sun behind the titan. Its cannons glowed bright white. Mira stood at the command deck, eyes locked on the creature. Fire! A storm of energy blasts struck the titan's back. The monster screeched, twisting in pain. More human ships jumped out of hyperspace. Cruisers, fighters, and heavy carriers. The human fleet had arrived. Aaron looked out the window and breathed deeply. "Thank you, Mira." The shuttle fled behind the protective line of warships. But the titan wasn't running. It turned slowly, its red cracks glowing hotter. Rhea whispered, "It's getting stronger." Myra's voice boomed on every ship. "All units, deploy Formation Alpha. Protect the shuttle." Fighter wings launched like swarms of silver insects. They circled the titan, firing rapid shots. Explosions lit the darkness, but the titan barely reacted. Lyra spoke through comms. "Commander, our weapons can delay it, not defeat it." Aaron stared at the giant map of the rim glowing on his screen. "We need something stronger. Something from the network." Rhea turned to him. "Those ancient structures. They respond to human DNA. What if they can power our ships too?" Aaron blinked. The idea was strange, but made sense. He opened a channel to Mira. "Chancellor, we need to test something. Link our energy cores with the sphere's crystal." Mira hesitated. "Do you know what that will do?" "No," Aaron answered honestly. "But the Titan will destroy us if we don't try." Mira closed her eyes for a moment, then nodded. "Do it." Inside the Horizon Dawn, engineers rushed to install the crystal Rhea had taken from the ancient structure. When it touched the ship's energy core, the lights flickered. Sparks danced across the consoles. Energy spike increasing. Systems rising. "Wait. No, this is stabilizing." The ship's main cannon glowed gold instead of blue. Mira stared at it. "So the ruins can power our technology." The human fleet connected their ships to the same frequency. Golden lines spread between vessels like threads of light, forming a new kind of network, a human-made version of the ancient system. Aaron watched from the shuttle window. "Now we fight." Mira raised her hand. "Fire!" The weapon systems unleashed a synchronized blast, not normal energy, but golden pulses filled with the ancient spark. The Void Titan screamed. For the first time, humans heard it. The light tore through its shadowy body. Cracks opened wider. Red flames hissed out. Soren cheered. "It's working!" But the Titan didn't fall. Instead, it gathered its remaining strength. A thick tail of darkness swept forward, hitting 3 human cruisers. 2 exploded instantly. The third spun uncontrollably. Mira shouted, "Keep firing! Don't give it space!" Golden beams rained onto the Titan. The creature roared louder and louder, until its form broke apart like ashes in a hurricane. The Void Titan collapsed into nothing. Silence filled space. The humans had won, but the moment felt heavy, not joyful. Too many soldiers were gone. Too many ships were damaged. Aaron looked at the fading black mist. This was only one creature. Rhea nodded slowly. Imagine how many more exist. The fleet returned to our 9 Helios to repair. Workers rushed around the landing bays. Sparks fell from welding guns. Mechanics shouted orders. Doctors treated the injured. But hope had returned. Humans had found a way to fight back. In the main hangar, Mira met Aaron face to face. "You did well," she said. "Without the network's energy, we would all be gone." Aaron looked at the glowing towers in the distance. "This is not a weapon. It's a gift. Or maybe a test." Mira crossed her arms. "Then we must finish it. We must awaken the whole network." Aaron nodded. "If we awaken all the ancient sites, we might gain enough power to defend every rim world." Rhea added softly, "Or maybe even defeat the Void completely." Soren looked at the map. "But there are dozens of sites, some deep in dangerous sectors." Aaron turned toward the team. "We don't have a choice. The Void sent a scout, then a hunter, then a Titan. They are testing us." Mira stepped forward. "Then we show them we are not prey." That night, the sky above our 9 glowed gold from the awakened towers. The humans rebuilt their ships, strengthened their weapons, and studied the ancient systems. A new fleet design began forming: stronger hulls, golden-infused cannons, improved shields powered by the spark. For the first time in history, humanity was building an armada worthy of the stars. But in the deep dark, the Void watched silently. And far away, many Titans opened their red eyes at once. The real war had not started yet. But humans were ready. The outer rim would not break them. It would make them stronger. Humanity was rising. The outer rim entered the darkest night it had ever seen. For weeks, humans had watched strange signals grow stronger on their scanners. Every hour the waves became sharper, louder, and more violent. Command centers inside the rim flashed red warnings, and energy storms twisted across the sky like black serpents. Everyone knew what it meant. The Void Legion was coming. Aaron Vale stood on the balcony of the Echo Fortress, staring at the sky. Huge clouds of violet lightning crackled above the horizon. Behind him, the newly trained human soldiers rushed across metal bridges, carrying weapons and wearing armor powered by the Echo network. They looked nervous, but their eyes carried determination. In the control room below, alarms rang non-stop. Officers shouted coordinates, engineers calibrated shields, and aircrews prepared the ancient rim battleships that humans had repaired over the last months. These were not ordinary ships. They responded to human thoughts, changed shape during battle, and used energy pulled directly from the Echo core. The Void Legion's first wave finally arrived. The night sky opened like a wound. From inside it, thousands of black, needle-shaped ships poured out. Each one left a trail of shadow behind it, like smoke from another world. When the ships moved, space bent around them. When they turned, their wings screamed like metal cutting metal. The humans had seen recordings of these creatures before, but recordings were nothing compared to the real thing. Aaron watched silently as the enemy ship spread across the rim like a storm of dark birds. General Saren, a calm and older leader, stood beside him. "They are here," she said softly. Aaron nodded. "Then today we stop running." The human fleet launched. Hundreds of rim-borne ships rose from hangars across the planet. Their engines glowed with white-blue light, brighter than any human-made machine had ever produced. The ships formed a protective circle around the rim worlds, and in the center, the largest vessel, the Helios Vanguard, took command. The Void Legion attacked without warning. Black beams burst from their ships, cutting through space like claws. The first beams slammed against the human shield grid, shaking mountains and tearing through clouds. But humans did not break. Aaron gave the order. "All units, return fire." The rim ships answered at once. Massive energy blasts shot into the sky, colliding with Void ships and tearing them apart. Every time a Void ship exploded, it turned into a cloud of dark sparks before fading. But for every enemy destroyed, 5 more appeared. Inside the Helios Vanguard, Aaron moved between screens, helping officers make fast decisions. The Echo network fed him information directly: enemy speed, weak points, angles of attack. He felt the ships around him as if they were extensions of his own body. This was the secret power the Council never understood. Humans did not follow straight lines. Humans adapted. Humans improvised. Humans survived. The Void Legion noticed something unexpected. Humans were blocking their advance. No species had ever stopped them this early. In anger, the Void released their titans. 3 colossal beasts emerged through the tear in space. They were not machines. They were alive. Their bodies were made of smoke and armor, and glowing purple cracks ran across their skin. Each titan carried long metal whips that could destroy entire fleets with one strike. The titans roared, and the sound shook the atmosphere. Even human soldiers on the ground felt their hearts tremble. Aaron steadied himself. All units, focus fire on the titans. Do not let them reach the planet. The battle became chaos. Human fighters swarmed around the titans like fireflies, dodging shadow blasts and energy storms. The titans swung their whips, destroying dozens of ships at once. But every time a human ship fell, another rushed forward to take its place. General Sarin shouted from the defense tower, "Keep the line! If the titans reach the core, everything is lost." One titan managed to break through a section of the shield grid. It dived toward the surface, pulling an entire shadow swarm behind it. Cities on the rim trembled as it descended. Aaron made a decision. He connected directly with the Echo network, letting it amplify his mind. His thoughts spread across the human fleet like a wave of light. "For the rim!" Aaron shouted. "For humanity!" Every human ship followed him in one giant synchronized attack. They formed a spiral pattern, something no other species would even attempt, and crashed into the Titan from all sides. The Titan screamed, shaking mountains, but the humans did not stop. Bright energy beams cut through its armor. The creature burst into a storm of violet dust, its shadow form collapsing into nothing. The first Titan was gone. The remaining 2 felt fear for the first time. They turned their attacks fully toward Aaron's fleet. The battle lasted for hours. Humans fought until their engines burned, their shields cracked, and their bodies begged for rest. But still they did not fall back. By dawn, the sky glowed gold. The last Titan collapsed with a final roar, shaking the entire rim. The Void Legion retreated. The humans had won the first major battle. But as Aaron watched the enemy disappear into the void, he knew this war was far from over. The void would return, stronger, angrier, and ready to destroy everything. This victory was only the beginning. The battlefield was quiet for the first time in many days. The sky above the outer rim showed the pale colors of dawn, but the silence did not bring peace. It felt like the calm before something far greater. Human ships floated like tired guardians around the rim, engines dim and armor cracked. Many pilots were injured, many ships damaged, but their spirits stood strong. Inside the Helios Vanguard, Aaron Vale looked at the dark space where the Void Legion had vanished. He did not trust their retreat. The Void never ran unless they were planning something bigger. General Sarin walked beside him, her face pale but steady. "We won the battle," she said, "but not the war." Aaron nodded. "The Void will come back. Stronger." Everyone inside the command room felt it too. The air carried a heavy pressure, like a storm waiting to break the sky in half. Suddenly, the Echo network activated on its own. Pillars of white gold light rose inside the fortress, flashing like heartbeats. Machines across the rim powered themselves without touch. Old symbols appeared on screens humans had never seen before. A deep voice echoed through the chambers, calm and ancient. "Final protocol. Awakening." The humans froze. This activation was not something they triggered. It came from the outer rim itself, like the world had been waiting for this moment. A hologram formed in the air, showing a map of the galaxy. A giant shadow spread from a distant corner, covering star systems like ink. Aaron stared. The Void Legion. This is their real army. The earlier attack had only been a test, an opening. The true Void force was now moving, sweeping across the galaxy and destroying anything in its path. Human soldiers felt their hearts tighten. No fleet, no species, No council had ever survived such a wave. But the Echo Network did not show fear. Instead, the light around Aaron grew brighter, forming lines that connected him to every human in the building. Pilots, engineers, soldiers, leaders. The network spoke again. Humans carry the spark. Humans activate the core. The ground shook. The entire rim lit up. From every hidden chamber and ancient vault, new structures rose. Towers of glowing stone, weapon platforms powered by starlight, engines older than any council record. Then something unbelievable happened. A gigantic sphere, miles wide, lifted from beneath the planet's surface. Its core spun with golden fire. Engineers gasped. It's alive. It's reading our thoughts. It's waiting for a command. Aaron walked toward the glowing giant. He could feel the heat of its energy pulsing like a heartbeat. When he placed his hand on the core's surface, a beam of light shot into the sky, connecting the core to every human mind on the rim. Human soldiers felt something new awaken inside them. Courage sharpened. Fear melted. Sight improved. Everything felt connected, like they were one single force. General Saren whispered, "This is our true power." The council saw the explosion of golden light from across the galaxy and panicked. Messages flooded their halls. Humans activated the core. They unlocked the Echo Network. They are rising beyond control. The council sent a desperate transmission to the rim, pretending to care. Humans, surrender your technology. We will protect you from the void. Aaron did not even answer. Every human in the rim ignored the council, because now they understood the truth. The ancestors who built the Echo Network had chosen humans for a reason. Not the council, not any other species. The Echo was meant for them alone. And the Void Legion had always feared this moment. As the core reached full power, the sky tore open once more. The true Void Army arrived. Thousands of Titans, millions of ships, and the gigantic shadow of their supreme commander, hidden inside a storm of darkness. The galaxy trembled. Every world waited for the end. But this time, humans did not stand alone or unprepared. Their ships rose from the rim again, but now they shone with golden flames. Their weapons hummed with the energy of the core, and their minds were linked, thousands of thoughts moving as one. Aaron's voice echoed across the fleet. Today, we protect the galaxy, not for the council, but for ourselves and for every world that fears the dark. Humans surged forward like a wave of light. The void crashed against them with all its strength, but something had changed. Human ships moved faster. Their beams hit harder. Their shields recovered instantly. Their courage never broke. The Void Titans fell one after another, unable to understand the power humans now carried. Finally, Aaron reached the heart of the Void Storm. The Supreme Commander appeared, a towering shadow with burning purple eyes. "You were not meant to rise," it growled. Aaron's answer was simple. "We rise anyway." The core behind him exploded into pure golden energy, sweeping through the battlefield like a sun. The shadow screamed as it dissolved, followed by the collapse of the entire Void Army. Light filled the galaxy. When the glow faded, humans stood victorious. They had saved everyone, even those who rejected them. The council fell silent in shame. No one dared challenge humanity again. Aaron looked at the stars and spoke softly. "The outer rim is ours, our home, our future." But far away, in the edge of the galaxy, a small piece of shadow floated quietly, waiting. The story of the humans was not over. It had only just begun.